Okay, here we have another example. An apple orchard contains 96 trees. The number of trees in each row is 4 less than twice the number of rows. And we want to find the number of rows and the number of trees per row. Now in this problem, we have two unknowns, right? Before we decide which one shall we set as x, let's think about. Let's see, if you are sitting in a helicopter, and when you look at this orchard from the sky, what does this orchard look like? So, are those trees planted randomly like this? No, right? No. Why? Because we are told those trees, they are planted in rows. So you should say something like this when you're in the helicopter and when you look at this orchard. Okay, so it looks like they are in a rectangle. So then, if someone asks you to count how many trees from the helicopter, well, one way you can do this is to count the trees one by one, right? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you count the trees in the second row. But this way will be tedious. Now, there is a easy way, and that way is you count how many trees in each row. So how many trees does each row have? And then you count there are how many rows. And then you just do a multiplication. You can figure out in total how many trees does this orchard have, right? So the point is the number of rows when it is multiplied by the number of trees per row, the result is gonna be the total number of trees. Alright. So once we understand this, let's go back to this problem. And we said to determine which unknown should we set as x, we'll go back to the problem and we'll look at the sentence that gave us the relationship between these two unknowns. Therefore, if you read the second sentence, the number of trees in each row is 4 less than twice the number of rows. Since the number of rows, this item is at the end of this sentence, so we let x be the number of rows. Now again, if you don't know why we are doing this, you want to watch my previous videos, because in my previous videos I explained why we are doing in this way. Okay, so now the number of rows, since we let it be x, so this becomes x. Then this sentence will be changed into the number of trees in each row is 4 less than twice x, right? So 4 less than twice the x, when we write this into an algebraic expression, it's gonna be 2x minus 4. Therefore, if x is the number, if x is used to represent the number of rows, then 2x minus 4 will be used to represent the number of trees per row. Okay, so now we know there are x rows, and in each row, how many trees do we have? We have 2x minus 4. So in each row, we have 2x minus 4, this amount of trees. And we multiply just like what we do here. When we multiply the number of rows by the number of trees per row, this will give us the total amount of total number of trees, which we are given here is 96. So therefore, we set up this equation: 2x minus 4, x times 2x minus 4 equals 96. So 2x squared minus 4x equals 96. Now, this equation is an quadratic equation, right? Okay. And in the previous section, we learned how to solve a quadratic equation. So first, we're gonna bring this number to the left-hand side. Now let's see. Here you can use quadratic formula to solve this equation, or you can solve this equation by factoring. So if we factor out 2, this will be 38. Right. So then we divide it by 2. So we change the equation into x squared minus 2x minus 38. Now let's think about if we can factor this trinomial. If we can factor this trinomial on the left-hand side. So 30, that means here we're looking for these two numbers such that the product of them is negative 38 and the sum of them is negative 2. Let's consider. So 38 can be divided by 4. Well, I think here we can, since we cannot factor this trinomial. Oh, sorry. This should be 48, not 38. Okay. Okay, if this is 48, because negative 48, we can factor it as negative 8 and 6. Now, the sum of negative 8 and 6 is negative 2. So therefore, x squared minus 2x minus 48, we can factor as x minus 8 times x plus 6. So therefore, the original equation, the quadratic equation, becomes x minus 8 times x plus 6 equals 0. And then according to the zero product property, we can have two equations. One is x minus 8 equals 0, or x plus 6 equals 0. So we can have two solutions. However, remember we said we let x be the number of rows, right? So therefore x, it cannot be a negative number. So therefore we drop this answer and we keep this one. Now if x equals 8, then what does 2x minus 4 equal? So 2x minus 4 gonna be 2 times 8 minus 4, which is 12. So the number of rows is 8, and the number of trees per row is 12. right? So there are 8 rows, and each row has 12 trees. So if you multiply 12 by 8, you will get 96.